Why would anyone in their right mind pass on a $1.1 million commercial audition? Hey, wait a minute, Paul. Aren't you the one always beating us over the head to know your worth and stand up for pro rates, make it worth your time, and so on and so on and so on? First of all, whoever said I was in my right mind? Second of all, I absolutely am the guy that beats the drum of know your worth and make it worth your time and stand up for pro rates. So why did I pass on a 1.1 potentially $1 million commercial audition? Why did I not even take a swing? Have I stroked out? Lost my marbles? Has Pauly's little choo-choo gone around the bend? Today I'm going to lay out for you exactly why it took me less than 2 minutes to pass on this opportunity, and maybe, just maybe, why you should have too. So I get this audition from one of my agents recently, and for obvious reasons, I'm not going to disclose the agent or the casting director or the client or the production agency, right? The advertising agency. I'm not even going to talk about the category of the advertiser. But here are the pertinent parts of the spec, which, by the way, was a page and a half long, plus an additional NDA, which I did not sign because I did not audition. All right, here are the bullet points of the spec. Major national brand, non-union talent only, and specifically, they asked that FICOR talent self-identify. Well, first point, a non-signatory producer, a producer that has not signed a commercial contract with SAG-AFTRA, is not legally entitled to forced disclosure of your union or FICOR status. Not to mention, the FICOR designation is only relevant if it's a union-covered commercial. All right, moving on. Materials: unlimited video, digital, social, industrial, audio, and radio commercial materials, which for the avoidance of doubt shall include awards shows and case study videos. Next, media. Hold on to your hat. The materials may be used in any and all media now known or hereafter devised, including without limitation in all forms of television media, including but not limited to national network television, free and basic cable, including but not limited to premium subscription and or pay-to-play view cable, direct satellite and closed-circuit television, non-broadcast industrial, including but not limited to trade shows, sales meetings, company meetings, events, jumbotrons, cinema and press presentations, voiced phone recordings, call catcher messages for in-store, new media, for example, cell phones, retail display, in-store, point of sale, digital billboards, signage, electronic out-of-home media and platforms, in-stadium, in-flight, cinema display, public monitors, public settings, electronic signage in venues and facilities. Internet as made available or accessed via any platform or technology now known or hereafter invented, including via mobile phone technology, downloadable files, streaming formats, third-party links, blogs, company website, and distribution via email. Social, including without limitation, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, X/Twitter, Snapchat, or any future platform. Terrestrial, satellite, and streaming radio. That's the media that's involved. Territory, in other words, geography. North America, including but not limited to the United States, its territories, possessions, and commonwealths, including Puerto Rico. With respect to internet use, new media, streaming and satellite radio, social, and for PR purposes, including award shows and case study videos, the territory shall be worldwide. Here's the term. The initial term shall commence upon the initial voiceover recording session and shall continue in full force and effect for a 60-day trial period. So the initial term, 2 months. First option term. An additional 10-month consecutive option term may be elected at the agency's sole discretion. So it's an initial 2-month term with an option for a 10-month term after that. Compensation. Initial term, 60 days. $37,500 plus 20% agent's fees in U.S. dollars. First option term, the 10-month term, $187,500 plus 20% agent's fees. Renewal term, 1 year. The compensation for the first renewal term, if any, shall be $236,250. Compensation for each renewal term thereafter shall have a 5% increase over the previous renewal term's compensation amount. Renewal terms must be consecutive, with artist informed of the agency's election prior to the end of the then current renewal term. Agency shall have the right, in its sole discretion, to extend the first option term for consecutive 1-year renewal terms, each a renewal term, for a total of 4 renewal terms. So what this means is winning this work would mean to a talent anywhere between $37,500 if it never got past the initial 2-month term, up to $1,170,000. And by the way, that doesn't include the 5% increase each year of the renewal if they renew for all 4 consecutive years of the renewal terms thereafter. So at best, this is a $230,000 a year gig for up to 5 years, plus an unpaid year thereafter where you are prohibited from doing any work of any kind for any other brand. And with this contract, there would be no renegotiation period during the entire term of this contract, whether it's 60 days or 5, and if you count the non-compete, 6 years. Now, here's where it gets even more interesting. 14 minutes later from that first email from my agent, I get a second email which says, "No other brands, exclusive to advertiser. This does not include any film, books, animation, video games, etc. No commercial VO at all." So the hair on the back of my neck starts to stand up, so I start to dig into the contract terms that were sent with the original email a little bit more deeply. Here's where it gets better, or actually worse. Here's the actual language that the client put together around exclusivity. During the term of the agreement and for a 1-year period thereafter, all voiceover commercial and branded content categories. Artist is 100% exclusive to the client for any and all branded content voiceover work. So not only is this client asking for category exclusivity. So for example, and this is just a hypothetical category and a hypothetical client. Let's say you voice a spot for Coke. Well, in that category could either be negotiated as soft drinks or it could be negotiated as all beverages. But however that category is defined, Coke would have exclusive rights to you in that category for the time period of that campaign. That's not what this advertiser is demanding. They're demanding all category exclusivity. This is something I've not seen before. Now, maybe others have. Maybe I'm late to the party. Maybe I'm missing something, but I have not seen this. And to remind you, they're not just asking for all category exclusivity for the period of the campaign, but for a non-compete year thereafter, meaning you're not going to go voice anything for any other brands for a year following the end of your campaign with them. Now look, I get it. I'm not an idiot. $1.1 million potentially is a lot of money for a lot of people. It's a lot of money for me. I'm not going to lie and say it's not. Potentially, it's a life-changing amount of money for a lot of people. And I'm not here to say that if you got this audition and you submitted based on those specs, that you made a bad choice. That's not my call. I can only make my call for me and my business. I'm not here to judge you. I made a decision for me and the business to pass and to not even audition for a couple of main reasons. And I'm making this video today so that if you ever get an audition like this moving forward, you'll have some things to think about. To me, there were not one, but 2 main deal breakers for this audition. First, by asking for total exclusivity, which again, I've never seen before, but it happened here. The client that accepts that work is effectively going to have to pack up their entire voiceover business for up to 6 years. Look, in every opportunity, there's something called opportunity cost. Opportunity cost is the value of what you give up when you make a given choice. And to me, there's a lot of opportunity cost here. First, obviously, there's the cost of all the other commercial and branded content and other voice work that you could have booked within the term of however long this contract runs. Now, for some elite commercial talent, that's a deal breaker right there because they know they're going to make more outside of this contract than they would inside of this contract. But here's the thing. Most of those elite talent are already SAG-AFTRA talent. Hence, they're not eligible for this casting. And for the vast majority, the overwhelming majority of voice actors that are non-union and therefore eligible for this casting, that consideration isn't really an option. You're probably going to make more with this gig than without it. Probably. Secondly, if you're going to put your VO career on ice, except for this gig, for the next up to what might be 6 years, you're going to have to put relationships with other agents on ice. They may take it well, they may not. You're not going to be able to accept any auditions from them, and that can severely impact or maybe even sever your relationships with those agents. Those agents may decide to drop you. They may decide not to re-sign you when your agreement with this advertiser is over. Third, if you're going to shut down your ability to accept work for up to 6 years, then you're going to have to shut down your ability to market to advertisers and clients and prospects for that work for up to 6 years. That means you'll not only kill the momentum if you've built up any in your marketing so far, but then you're going to have to restart that entire sequence, that entire initiative and campaign, and all the momentum that you've created thus far. You're going to have to create it from scratch again in 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 years. And I'm not Nostradamus. This business is changing at light speed. Who knows what the business is going to look like in 6 years? I certainly don't. Number 4, by not doing any other work for any other client for up to the next 6 years, you're going to be locked into one overall brand, one overall style, one overall read. It may vary from piece to piece, sure, but you're going to be the brand voice for that brand and no other brands. And yeah, while you'll get really friggin' good at that read for that client, your versatility and skill set as an actor will stagnate and likely degrade. And not to mention, let's face it, there's a boredom factor with doing one client all the time for that long a period of time. Number 5, let's not forget, business is business, and this advertiser could decide at any moment for any reason to drop you just like that, even during that initial 60-day term. And by the way, if they do that and when they do that, that 1-year non-compete starts the minute they drop you, so you cannot work for a period of 1 year for any other brand doing any other work. And if they've dropped you 60 days in, you've made less than $37,500 and you can't work again for a year. That's a huge risk. Oh, and in the meantime, you've also severed or severely downshifted your relationship with your other agents. And number 6, under opportunity cost, is actually the second major deal breaker for me for this audition. This ridiculous any and all media now known or hereafter devised. This clause means they can use anything you record for them any way they want, in any possible media, even those that haven't even yet been invented. So this contract, this audition, essentially means this: you have become this company's employee without the legal designation and the protections afforded to employees, like benefits, health insurance, vision, dental, any pension, any legal rights outside this contract, any paid time off, any paid family medical leave, and so on and so on and so on. So yeah, it's possibly a $230,000 a year gig for 5 years plus the unpaid year, but they literally own you. Your voiceover career is effectively over for the time period that they see fit. And the cost of that opportunity, to me, is too high. That's not why I got into this business, and certainly not for that price at that cost. If you learned something from this video, if you found value in it, if you think it will help other voice actors, then please pass it along, share it, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, give us a like, and most importantly, leave us a comment. Whether it's on YouTube or whether it's at the VO Pro blog at vopro.pro, the more we talk about this kind of stuff, get it out in the open, shine some light on it, the better, stronger industry we can have for everybody. vopro.pro also has information on our Move, Touch, Inspire weekly newsletter that goes out to voice actors every Thursday, and information on the VO Freedom Master Plan. We're going to open up another cohort coming up soon. Make sure you get on the wait list for that so you can learn how to market your services directly to clients without having to deal with intermediaries and P2P sites. You can own your own relationships. Thanks so much for your support. Thanks for the dialogue, and we will catch you back here again very, very soon. Take care.